The problem with socialism is that you run out of other people's money, and in this case, the ANC has run out of Iran's money.
There is something actually really interesting, Ramon, is I have in my own hometown, I don't know what it's like where you live, but I haven't actually seen that many ANC posters. I've seen the DA, I've seen Freedom Front Plus, I've seen the EFF, I've even seen Action SA. Just Razm Zanzi's bloody everywhere. But ANC, nothing, mate.
So unfortunately, I live in gangster's paradise, so their election posters are all over the place. But it looks like the ANC is once again out of money. Fresh from receiving who knows how many billions from Iran for taking Israel to the ICJ, it looks like that money has been, well, squirreled away by corrupt members of the ANC, because now they don't have money for adverts, they don't have money for posters, they don't have money for t-shirts, they don't have money for KFC. I'm not too sure how the ANC is supposed to run an election campaign without KFC, Byron, but they just can't seem to afford it.
Yeah, strange that, Ramon, because as you very rightly point out, ANC's memo is we bribe the electorate. And you know what's interesting about being bribed? The ANC got bribed. You know, allegedly. We need to put that in. Allegedly. Apparently, allegedly, they were bribed by Iran to take Israel to the courts. And we did cover this. And amazingly, it was just like clockwork. It was just a stroke of genius, an act of God. Amazingly, as they took Israel to the court, they declared their financial troubles were over. And would you know, Ramon, they said, we got enough money to pay off all our debts and fight an election. Sheesh, what happened?
Well, we don't know exactly what happened because once again, staff members are not being paid. Apparently, the PAYE and the medical aid contributions are 3 months behind for the Tuli House staff. Shame, not a tear of sympathy from me in this particular regard. They're even fighting about how many t-shirts they need to make. They say they can only afford 1 million, and some in the party are saying this is terrible. We need to convince 13 million people to vote for the ANC, so we need 13 million t-shirts. Again, the jokes in Udadistan like just sort of write themselves. How do you win an election? Streetwise 2 and a t-shirt. And the ANC is proving it right now by not being able to afford a Streetwise 2 or a t-shirt for its electorate. Again, how can a party who can't do a normal budget for its own internal organization be expected to run a country? Oh, wait, they can't.
Yes, any individual that assumes that the ANC can run a country doesn't live in Retardistan. If you look around, it's fairly self-evident. You have no money, Ramon. We live in a country that isn't exactly well governed. But, you know, it's really, really telling. Because the ANC got, allegedly, a significant amount of money from Iran to do this whole court action. And the question that everybody has is where did the money go? Because news out is that it wasn't even used to settle the ANC's debt. If you recall, the ANC had some debt it had to pay for election posters from, the last election posters. And this election debt, they fought all the way through the courts, and it nearly resulted in Loot Freely House being auctioned off and confiscated to pay the debt. Well, news out, allegedly, is that Cyril Ramaphosa paid the debt. So even the money that they allegedly got from Iran wasn't even used here. So, mate, where'd the money go?
Who knows? Not even the ANC knows where the money went. I mean, imagine being a member of the ANC. You can't solve load shedding. You can't, fix potholes. Joburg, your biggest financial center, doesn't have water for 2 weeks. So what is your strategy? Oh, let's go to the ICJ. Because, when you can't do the basic stuff, you do the stupid stuff, right? The big goal-orientated stuff. So you go to the ICJ, you get paid R1 billion to settle your tax claims and to settle salaries and PAYE and UIF of your employees. And hopefully another R1 billion to run the election cycle. That money is now spent. There's no money for t-shirts, no money for KFC, no money for anything. How can you, as a dedicated ANC comrade, think that this is normal? Your own people are stealing from you inside the party to the detriment of your party because you can't afford the Streetwise 2 that gets you the vote in rural KZN. But people still line up to queue and to vote for these people. I just don't get it. I just really, really don't get it.
So I'm reminded, Ramon, that Nelson Mandela once said, if the ANC government does to you what the apartheid government did to them, then you should do to the ANC government what they did to the apartheid government. And Ramon, it's curious because obviously, as you know, the apartheid government locked out a section of the economy. through two means. The first was through economic means, through things like the pass, and I suppose to a degree of white economic empowerment. And the second reason would be because they reserve their own monies for themselves. And you know, Ramon, that's exactly what the ANC does. It takes the money, uses it for itself, and it leaves the rest of the nation impoverished. Even when they sell our foreign policy, which could be used for the benefit of the nation, let's just say they actually had a backbone and they used the money for something useful, but they don't even use it for the party. They don't even to finance the party itself. They use it to self-enrich some cadre. It's kind of shocking. You get paid that amount of money to fix your financial problems. And would you know it, they COVID-19'd it, Ramon. They just looted the cash. Allegedly.
We made a video once about the so-called BEE premium. Like in terms of state procurement, the state pays up to 400 billion rand over the prescribed price for BEE tenders and things like that. That's a lot of money to a lot of people, and they're not coming out to bail out the ANC either. I mean, that's all you need to know. If the people who became billionaires overnight due to the ANC are not bailing out the ANC, why are you as a voter giving your most precious thing, the vote, to the ANC? Sometimes the average South African voter should look at himself in the mirror and think, why am I so retarded? Why am I voting for people who can't even manage their own finances properly?
The answer, Ramon, will be because grants and stuff, mate. Remember, grants and stuff. But as the DA very famously said, if the ANC stays in power, at some point in time, the money pot's going to be dry. There will be no money left to pay grants. There'll be no money left to pay anything because the ANC will have looted it all. And this is a prime example of that.
Yeah, I think that's fine.